Not even streaming. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I hit the wrong button again. I wasn't live, and I thought I was live. Anyway, I'll get right to it. Here, Malapasca Morena, she has a YouTube channel. I think this depends on the lady. Some ladies have good intentions, but they really need help. I think it's okay when the relationship is real. Don't send to a lady you never met in person. I have to second that. If you haven't met her in person, the only thing you can send to her, in my opinion, is like buy her a load. Not send her a load, but buy her like a calling plan on her phone so she can talk to you. That's the only thing I would do if I was in the West talking to a girl. Bob Dobbs says, pretty much all the Filipinas I've met, besides the girl I dumped the other day, have been scammers. Oh, wow. I'm about done with the Philippines in general. I think Thailand or Vietnam seems like better options. I don't know. I've spoken to many Filipinos, and most of them are not scammers. The women seem still to have the traditional values, although with less lip surface to the Catholicism and much better food. Oh, in Vietnam and Thailand? Okay. Gio says hi. Hello, Gio. How are you? Henry Mann. Okay. I'm here now. Let's get this party started. So anyway, back to like if you should send money. In my opinion, if you're in the West, never seen the girl, only buy her a load. If you have seen her, send her a minimal amount. We're not talking over $100 a month. You should not. If the relationship becomes about money, it doesn't become about you and her. It just becomes about the financial, and you really don't want to go down that route. Hi, Paul. Just another takeover, isn't it? Yep. That's it. That it is. G, my man. Hey, Henry. Good to see you again. Okay. Either he's late or it's another spotty one. No, it's not spotty. I moved into a condo, same units as, or same, it's 2 towers in this area that belong to one building, if you understand what I'm saying, with the same amenities and all that. And I have fiber optic cable here, 30 Mbps up and down, and it's fantastic. I also bought a cellular plan, a new telecom company here in the Philippines. Right now they're only in, I believe, in Cebu, Davao, and Manila, and it's called Dito, D-I-T-O, and it's super fast. I had 65 download when I measured it and 25 upload on my cell phone, so I can use this as a hotspot, and I plan to use this when I go to coffee shops and different places around Cebu. So it's a fantastic plan, and it costs the whole number of $4 per month, unlimited data. But that's a promo, but the promo will probably be in place for a while. So no more slow internet, hopefully. I can't promise 100%, but I'll try. Always my friend. Okay. Hello, Paul. Hello, Kenneth. How are you? Hopefully everything's good. You must get your feet on the ground. Yes, I agree. Feet on the ground is a difference. I mean, you go online, there are a lot of scammers. I had it here also when I was single before I met Mia. A lot of scammers, they'll ask you all kinds of stuff, you know, especially the load stuff seems to be popular. Can you send me load? And they got 50 guys sending them $2-3 load every day or every second day or whatever. So yeah, a lot of scammers online, but in real, not so much. Hi, Gio. I was late getting to your channel, but still a great topic. Namaste. Paul, I'm glad you put girlfriend in quotes. If you have only met online, call her what you want, but she's not your girlfriend and certainly not your fiance. Yeah, I completely agree. If you guys haven't met online, and the reason I say this really is because I've had this experience. In 2013, after my divorce, I came out to the Philippines a few times, and I met girls. I met them online, and online we chatted on video and just chatting. And I mean, I think, this girl is so nice, she's perfect for me and everything. And then I went out here, and it was different. The chemistry was different, the way she was, the way she, I don't know, there's something in me that's like, this is not the girl I was talking to. I mean, it was, but it just didn't feel like the same person. So I agree, you have to meet the person in line and online, in person. I mean, the person in person, you have to meet the person in person. And also you have to spend some time with them. A week or 2 or 3 doesn't really cut it, in my opinion. People can fake it for a few weeks. They can't fake it for a year or two. So let's see, I lost my Henry Man, $10. Great. Hello, Gio. Gio sent me, Paul, I'm happy to be here. Hey, Henry, thank you for the contribution. Thank you so much. And now I have to go back and find my other. Let's see, sorry, I lost track here. You must get your feet on the ground. I think we covered that. Morning from Ohio, from Timothy. Hey, good morning to you, Timothy. Give your Filipina rice and meat, not pesos. Yeah. And I was watching Gio's live stream, and one thing is, if you're chatting with a girl and you like her and you go to her Facebook and she's got thousands of friends and hundreds, if not over 1,000 foreigners on there, man, run for the hills, buddy. Would you send peso if you have a long distance relationship, never met but chatting online for 2 years? No, I wouldn't. And I would send her a load because, again, I don't want the relationship to be about money. If you're sending her $100, $200 a month, $300 a month, then she has a financial incentive to talk to you. She's not talking to you only because she likes you. I'm not saying that for sure, but that would be in the back of my mind. Why is she chatting? Because remember, $300 here is a month's wage. So if you're sending $100, that's 33% of a month's wage. And I don't know. You don't want a relationship to become about money, in my opinion, because you can't buy attraction, you can't buy love, and you can't, you don't want to go down that track. Now, if you have lived here, let's say for a year, 6 months, 2 years, and been with a girl 6 months, a year, 2 years or more, and then you go back to the States and you're working, and let's say you're only going to work for 2-3 years, so you don't want to bring her over, that's different. Or if you're going to go to the States and you know that the fiancé visa takes 2 years, again, that's different. But just chatting online, no, I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't. I have done it and I'd never do it again. Some Filipinas, from Jenny, the Morena, says, some Filipinas don't want expat money. But if you think she started asking you money, then cut it off. Simple as that. Completely agree, Jenny. If she likes you, she likes you. If she doesn't, she doesn't. It's not about the money. And if it is about the money, that means she doesn't really care that much about you. She'll replace you as soon as you stop sending money. And that's a good test. If you are sending money, stop sending money for, let's say, 2, 3, 4 months and tell her you're not going to send any more money. See what happens. William says, good morning, Paul. Hope all is well. It is fantastic. I just moved to my new condo, which I'm doing a video on, and it's in the same blocks as Geo, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the life here. So now I've got a lot of stuff still in Dumaguete, and I think I'm just going to get rid of most of it. Try to minimize my lifestyle as much as I can. Scott says, thanks for the stream, Paul. Question, are there any 3 bedrooms in your condo? I don't think there are. I've seen 2 bedrooms. I have not seen a 3 bedroom. And they go up in price drastically in the 2 bedroom compared to the studio. So, yeah, there are no 3 bedrooms that I've seen. But those 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms are pretty big. I think the 2 bedrooms are around 75 square meters. So they're considerably bigger by 20, 30 square meters. Seems like Newtown is out in the Boondocks. Well, it's about from here to the bridge, the old bridge to which goes through Mandawi. It's about 15 minutes, so it's really not that far. And there's a lot of stuff around here, a lot of restaurants, bars if you're into that. Just everything, tons of coffee shops. So I just started exploring. I found a really nice breakfast place run by a Dutch guy. Good quality, really good quality. Um, I'm glad to hear this about the faster internet speed. It was really kind of bad, I think you're meaning to say, on the last stream. Yeah, it was. But I think you guys see the stream is so much better. The problem um, in some of these apartments in here in Cebu and other places, they have one fast internet, and they have repeaters that go around to try to cut down on the cost. And what happens is they have a password, right? And then what happens is somebody gives the neighbor the password, and then the neighbor gives the other neighbor, and before you know it, there's like 30, 40, 50 people on there that shouldn't be on there. And you'll see that so easy because early in the morning it's like 100 mbs, right? And by the time the evening comes and everybody's watching Netflix or YouTube or whatever, it crawls down to less than 1 mbs. So yeah, there's that. But here I have my own fiber optic, so no one shares it with me. What do they call it? Why do they call it Newtown? Is it called Cebu Mactan? Isn't it called Cebu Mactan? Mactan is the whole area. Newtown is this little area around here with all these condos. And there's everything here. That's the thing I love about it. There's coffee shops, there's a supermarket, there's restaurants. So let's say it's raining for 2 days, 3 days in a row. I can just walk down literally without getting rained on, except when I cross the street. Walk down to the supermarket, get everything I need, walk back up to my condo and cook the food I need, or go down to a restaurant. So it's perfect. Will you ever live back in Dumaguete? If not, will you cancel your apartment there? Yes. My last month is actually April. So Mia's coming out here at the end of April. I'm actually headed back to Dumaguete either third week or last week of April to do the packing and get rid of stuff. And then she's moving here, and that's the end of that contract with that house, not apartment. Now, would I ever move back? That's a good question. I kind of like the Valencia area. Actually, I love the Valencia area. I just don't like Dumaguete proper itself. So if somebody built a gym in Valencia and they had a supermarket in Valencia, or I wouldn't have to go down to Dumaguete, maybe, because I have quite a few good friends there. But before that, I want to travel. I've got a 6-month contract here, and after that, if things open up, I can see myself going to Malaysia 6 months and Vietnam 6 months, and then kind of making a decision what I want to do with the rest of my life. Put it that way. I'd actually eventually like to get a house, not buy, but rent a house with a pool and a nice garden. I like to do gardening, so and I like to have a pool to do laps. So I kind of want it all. But if I could find something like that in Valencia, I might do that. But we'll see. We'll see. Jess is in the house. Hey, Jess, good morning. Or good evening to you. Filipina Life with Mia is in the house. Hey, babe, how are you? Hopefully everything's good. She's past 5K subscribers. She's at 5.2K now, so she's doing really good. She's actually beating me when it comes to watch time, so keep it going, babe. Keep it going. And she's done it all without running around in a bikini. So well done, babe. Question, how affordable is meat in the grocery store? They're like chicken breasts. I'm a bodybuilder and eat mainly tons of protein and veggies. Thanks, Paul. Well, chicken you can get for about, I think, 180 to 200 pesos per kilo. So that's a kilo is 2.2 pounds. So that's about $4. That's 2 point something or $2, roughly $2 a pound. Pork is roughly around the same, $4 or $5 a kilo. Now, if you do steaks, I mean meat from cows, not from pigs, it gets considerably more expensive. I think you're talking about $7, $8, maybe $9. Also, you get it cheaper at the market instead of the supermarket, so you can save a bit by going there. For example, if you go buy a rotisserie chicken here, that's roughly $5. So eggs here, if you're a bodybuilder, you probably eat a lot of eggs. I know I eat a lot of eggs when I do workouts, and eggs here are relatively inexpensive. You can buy a dozen eggs for about $1.50, $2, $1.50 to $2. Also, you can get protein here for about $60, $70 for the 5-pound optimum type. So Gio says, hi, Mia. Hey, Gio, when Mia gets here, she can clean your apartment for some pesos. Freedom Fighter. Hello, Paul. If starting a little business in the Philippines, do I need special permits or work permit, or can I just do it? You know, I can't really answer that question because I haven't started a business here, but I think you do need permits, and I think a Filipino has to own 60% of it. Or is it 40%? No, 60%. So there's that issue, and that's one of the reasons there's so little outside investments in this country. They're actually talking about the senators have a resolution to change the constitution, so that is not valid anymore. So people can start businesses without this 60% deal that is there. But if that will get approved or when it'll get approved, I'm not sure. Mr. Vegas, I think some guys get excited to say my Filipina girlfriend because they haven't had a girlfriend in a while. I understand that urge, but it's delusional. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You know, everybody has their own, what do you call it, mentality or way of thinking. I mean, the girl might think that that's her boyfriend, and he might think that that's his girlfriend. So I don't agree on it. I mean, I think if you haven't met physically and been together for a while, you're not really boyfriend, girlfriend. I mean, if you come over here and you're with a girl for a couple of weeks, are you really boyfriend, girlfriend? To me, it's more of a physical thing than it is, the whole packet. When I first came to the Philippines, I did chat with many girls online. Never felt cheated or deceived, really. Greatest trips I have ever taken. Pretty sure many of us can pick up the bad vibes. Yeah, that's another thing. If you're talking to a girl and you have a bad feeling, if your gut is telling you there's something wrong here, there probably is something wrong. But yeah, I mean, a lot of guys do that. They'll come here for 2-3 weeks and they'll meet a girl and take her around the whole Philippines, and a lot of girls are willing to do that. I mean, for them, it's an enormous treat, staying in a hotel, having good foods, and traveling the Philippines. They dream of it, and if you're willing to sponsor a girl on that, she'll be very thankful. Good evening from Northeast Texas. Hey, JR. I actually lived in close to Dallas, Texas, Frisco, for many, many years. That's where I had my house. So make your Filipina come to you. Okay? Send me $300. I will talk to you. Yes. Okay, thanks. That's madness. Rocco Hagdorn says, do you think you and today's topic will beat Gio's viewing numbers? I don't know. Gio is way ahead of me. He's been doing this for a few more years than I have. At least get the numbers for the thumbs up, a new record. We're at 105 people in here. I think Gio is at 400. I'm at 141 according to StreamYard. So I think the most I've ever been was close to 200 or just over 200. So I'm about half of what Gio does. But thanks to Gio, he's sending me his viewers. So thanks to Gio for that. But if everybody wants a thumbs up, that's a good thing. It helps on the YouTube algorithm after the stream. Scott says, forget it, guys. Paul found the last pearl in the Philippines. He has booked for at least 35 years or more, so you're out of luck. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, but there are good girls here, man. I mean, just look at Mia as an example. I mean, there are good girls, and Gio did mention this in his stream. Any girl that's jumping up in a bikini up and down on YouTube, that's a big red flag. Girls in skimpy shorts, with tats all over the place, another red flag. So you can see if a girl is conservative, there are certain ways of seeing this. So don't be blinded by their beauty. Sometimes I wish my girlfriend would go away. Okay. Too much time together during the lockdown, I'm guessing. Okay. The point is sometimes you help a little even though you won't ever meet them. That's the way I saw it. Plus it was not much. Now, yeah, if you're thinking that way, if you're thinking like, I'm just going to help this girl out and I don't want anything in return, that's true. But then if you're really thinking that way, you could send your money to an orphanage or something. So it seems to me when you send money to a beautiful girl, you want more than just helping them out. I mean, if you really look at it that way, just being honest here. Anyway, I'm sure there are great Filipinas for those who are interested in good girls. Yeah, there are many, many great Filipinas. I mean, there are. There's good Filipinas everywhere, man. Good Filipinas everywhere. You don't have to look for long. The thing is, you gotta. The thing I would say is like, take it slow, and if you're having doubts about someone, you have this bad feeling, just get rid of them. Really, just get rid of them. There are tons of other women. Hello from Dallas, Texas, my old stomping grounds. Hey, George. Hope all is good with you. Have you ever met a Filipino that didn't have a Facebook page? No, I didn't. And if they tell you they don't, they're probably lying to you. Just to be honest. Unless she's older. They love Facebook. They love social media here. They love social media. Have you ever heard of a case where a Filipina is sending money abroad to her boyfriend or husband? No, I have not, but probably. But, most women, they date up, they don't date down. So usually if anybody's sending money to anybody, it's the man to the woman. Where you are, is it a good place for dating? Are there many expats there? I'm not single, but I can just tell you my observations, and I would say absolutely. I mean, I've had several girls wave at me. I haven't even seen them waving at me because I'm so busy thinking about stuff or, walking. And my friend would say, hey, that girl was waving at you. And I'd be like, oh, really? So there are tons of girls here. And I mean, just sitting at the coffee shop, you'll see the looks they give you. And so, yeah, I'd say dating here is absolutely, possible. And I have friends who are single here, and they tell me dating is good. So if there are many expats here, no, there are not. There is a big shortage of expats now just because of the pandemic. And the reason for that is many expats left before lockdown, and many have left during the lockdown due to their 3-year. You're only allowed to be in the Philippines, extend your tourist visa for 3 years. After 3 years, you have to leave the country. Now, I have heard of people applying for exceptions, and those exceptions have been accepted due to the pandemic, but many have decided to leave. So, yeah, there's less and less expats. Every month that goes, there are less expats here. So there's a shortage of expats for these girls that are looking for expats. So if you want to be single, this is probably the time to be single in the Philippines, to be honest. Henry Maniestru, I'm hoping I can get cleared to go that way to the Philippines. I think it'll be a while. Hi, Paul. John from Australia, we chatted the other day on Messenger. How good is your memory? The older I get, the worse it gets, John. That's the truth. Paul, do you still speak to me? Yeah, we chat every day on video. So, yes, of course I speak to her. I'm going back to get her. Yeah, I think when it comes to Facebook, I think the Philippines per person is probably the number one in the world per capita. Yeah, I agree. Is Mia ready to move? Oh my God, she is so ready. She is so ready to move. She's so excited. She can't stop asking me about areas, the food here, the restaurants, the condo. I showed her. I chatted with her the other day on Skype and showed her the pool. I can actually see the pool from my condo. I don't know if I could show you guys or not, but I could try. But she's more than ready to move. Yeah, she's excited. I sent 2,000 pesos to a girl I've been chatting with for a year now for her birthday, just so she can take it seriously. I'll actually visit her when the country opens up. 2 years is a long time to chat with one girl, Mark. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. And I'm telling you, man, when you meet her, hopefully it goes well. But in my experience, now maybe I was unlucky, but when I met the girl, they were different. Now, when you say chatting, I assume you mean talking also on Skype, not just chatting via the keyboard, because that's important. Because just go back to Marcus, I have actually known girls that are very good at chatting. Their English is very good on chat, but when you meet them, they can barely say a word. So there's that. Yeah, Facebook is common. Greeting fellow failures from MedTech. Yeah, I guess we're all failures in one way or the other. I like you, Paul. Even sometimes I don't agree with you. I like you because you take care of Mia. It's just that for me, it's unfair for her not to have kids. Okay? You know, I have to disagree with you, Liz. Me and Liz always disagree, but that's good to disagree on stuff. But I think as long as a person is upfront about what he wants and doesn't want, like I've told Mia in no uncertain terms that I don't want to get married, and I've told her kids are probably off the table, but there is a chance. But by 55, I'll make that decision, and that's a true statement. I love kids. I've never had my own kids, so there might be, but I'm not quite sure yet. But so let's say I didn't want kids. Let's say there was 100% sure. As long as I, as a person, have said that to Mia, or any person has said that to their girlfriend and been upfront about it, and they have accepted it, then it's not on the man anymore. It's on her. If she says yes to it and then changes her mind, it's actually on her, not on him. He's put down what he wants. She has to put down what she wants. And if they can't agree, they shouldn't be together. And if she says yes, but I'm going to try to change her mind later, that's on her, not on him, in my opinion. Question: I know the topic is about sending money, but what about living with a Filipina? How much without being too much? What's the right amount per month, including helping her family and? Okay, so if you're living with a Filipina, it's obviously going to be more expensive than being single. That's without a doubt, because every time you go out together, there's food together, there's food in the house. Yeah, you're going to pay her doctor bills, you're going to pay her dentist bills. Basically, anything that comes up, you're going to be paying. As for the family, in the beginning, I told my girlfriend Mia that I wouldn't be supporting her family, as it's not my problem, basically. And I would suggest more guys do that. I mean, if the girl has genuine desire for you and genuine attraction, she won't care. I mean, they never asked their Filipino boyfriend to support their family, so I would say that. But however, I have supported somewhat her younger sister with schooling and some other stuff, and she never asked me. I just decided to go ahead and do that. But for me, it's been minimal. I just don't want the relationship to be about money, and I don't want it to be about her family. I have my own problems with my family. So that might sound mean, but I think a relationship should be about you and the girl, not about money. From the clips I've seen, Newtown looks a lot cleaner than most of the rest of the Philippines from Scott. Actually, it's very clean here. You won't see trash, you won't see plastic flowing around. There's guards everywhere. It's funny, me and Gio were sitting at a coffee shop the other day, and this student walks by. At least he said he was a student, and he was trying to sell us something. And the guy from the coffee shop ran out and was like, "Hey man, you got to move on. That's not allowed here in Newtown." And this other girl came out, "I'm calling security if you don't go now." And it was like, oh my God, I've never experienced this in the Philippines. So you're not hassled by vendors. It's none of that. It's basically like living in the West, having all the amenities of the West and the cleanliness of the West at the same time being in the Philippines. So you get the best of both worlds. And I love it. I mean, I really, really love it. Nice job. Thanks. Trump is back. Yeah. Maybe in prison soon. Back in prison. I'm just joking with you, Sunrise. But he seems to have a lot of legal problems. But let's not make this about Trump, okay? Hi to Gio from William. Geo seconds what I just said. It's very clean. Also, I forgot to mention they have trash cans outside. They have one for plastic, for biodegradable, and one for just the normal trash. So they actually divide it into 3 different categories. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of like back in Europe. What do you see your total monthly cost in peso, i.e. 70K? Well, I did a budget video about a month back, I think. You can watch that. And what I did is I pulled down all my statements from my banks and divided it basically into 12 months. Before I did 1 month, and I did a much more nuanced breakdown, specific breakdown into each category and what I spent. But this time I did a year budget and divided it by 12, and that came out to almost $1,600 a month. Now, take into account, I don't have health insurance, so that's going to add to my $1,600. And take also into account that the last year has been a lockdown, so it's there's that. There's a lockdown, you're not traveling, there's less expenses during a lockdown, obviously. So I think a good budget here, really, with everything, would be about $2,000. Can you live cheaper? Yes, I'd say $1,500 is doable. You can live an okay to good lifestyle on $1,500. And you have to remember, things are getting more and more expensive. So there's that also. So if you've got about $1,000, $1,200, I'd try to work a few more years and bring it up to $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 a month, and have about at least $25K in savings in case something goes wrong, and in case you have to start over back in the US or back in the West. Stan says, women online who ask for money are not scammers. At best, they are panhandlers. Most people who chat with women in the Philippines will never visit. Most Americans don't even have a valid passport. Yes, that's actually true. You have a good point there, Stan. There are many people that just live online. They just want to chat with a girl online and pretend that she's the girlfriend if they send her some money, and they have no intentions of visiting. I don't know, it's a lack of resources, or they're scared to come out of their area of security, or what it is, but they just never travel. They really never travel. They live vicariously through other people and through living online, sitting in the cellar and being online. I mean, if that's the life you want, that's fine, but I wouldn't want that life. George says, I send at least 200 to 300 euros a month to my GF. Wow, that's a lot, George. That's a lot. That's 300 euros. That's a good monthly wage here in the Philippines. Will you take Mia with you when you travel? And has she ever been on a plane? Yes, I'm going to take her to Malaysia and Vietnam. And no, she has never been on a plane. I actually promised her something that I didn't fulfill. And I promised to take her to Baguio, and I never did. That was due to many reasons, but and she was so excited to go on the plane. So that will be a nice experience for her. So I'm excited to see her face when she's on the plane. But 1 second, I just gotta have a bit of coffee here, guys. Um, there's a lot of suffering happening in the background that might block travel to the Philippines after COVID. China acting up, if you know what I mean, and they seem to have their eyes for strategic reasons. Yeah, China is up and coming, and they seem to not be. They seem to want to grab everything. So I think it's going to backfire big time. If the Philippines doesn't open up this year, what is the next best country for dating in Southeast Asia, in your opinion? I've been wondering about Indonesia. Never been to Indonesia. However, I've spoken to people in Indonesia, and I've spoken to Gio, who also knows people in Indonesia, and other people who know people in Indonesia, and they say dating there is fantastic. But I can't speak out of personal experience. So if that's what you're looking for, I think Indonesia would be a good call. However, I think Indonesia dating is a bit more under the table, if you know what I mean. You got to be a bit more reserved. You can't just go up to girls and start talking to them. Probably more online once you get there. But I don't know. Are wet markets a good place to buy meat? They look pretty scary with flies all over. Wet market, a good place to buy meat. That could be misunderstood. Yes, I've been to them and I've seen a lot of flies, but some wet markets are better because they'll have that fan that turns around with those pieces of paper hanging down, and it keeps the flies away. So I've seen some wet markets with hardly any flies, and I've seen with tons of flies. So it depends on the wet market. I have to give it to those who do live streams. I have a face for radio. Well, a lot of people actually don't watch the live stream. They might actually just listen to it. So guys, I'm up to 160 people watching. That's great. There is a new corporation you can start as a foreigner. I know very little, but Filipina P did an interview with a Westerner that has it. Okay, as far as I know, you have to have a Filipino co-owner, and they have to have 60% in the corporation. Now, you can have 10 different Filipinos having 6% each, but I think that's part of the issue here, and I wouldn't want to start a business here under those circumstances. But to each his own, man. I've known several Western guys have started businesses here and been successful, and I've known several that have failed miserably. So, it also depends on your reserves. I mean, if you have a couple of $1 million and you want to put 100,000 into a business, that's 5% of your total reserves, which is fine. But if you got 150,000 in reserves and you want to put 100,000, it's not something I would recommend. Mia says hi to Gio. James Carl, you can own a business now. The law just changed about a month ago. You can own 100% of your own business. Also, they actually changed that, because I was reading about that. They were talking about it. So it's actually been changed now, James, because I thought it was also a change to the Constitution also, not just to the law. So I'll have to look into that. Thanks for that tip, James. If that's the case, yeah, then obviously starting a business will be more enticing. Mark lives in Brooklyn. A dozen of eggs is $2. A pound of chicken breast is $2. It's crazy. I can buy essentially food for the same price in New York City as in a third world country. Yeah, that's, food actually is relatively inexpensive compared to what you earn. I mean, if the amount of percentage of your income you use on food in the US is very small. I mean, I'd say the biggest part in the US is actually renting an apartment or owning a home. Food is very inexpensive in the US. I found that too, but then again, a lot of that food is what do you call it, factory food, where they have these chickens in these cages, and they have hundreds of thousands of chickens, and fill them with steroids and all that stuff, chemicals. I mean, to me, and I came from Europe originally and went to the US, and the meat tasted different in the US. The chicken tasted different, and I just don't think the meat over there is that healthy. And I think one of the reasons is you get it so cheap, because it's not the cows roaming free in the fields anymore, the chickens running around. Well, I think here in the Philippines it's more natural than it is in the US. To me, chicken here tastes better than the US, but it is relatively inexpensive in the West, in the US. Unless you start going to shops like what's it called? There's this these shops that sell free roaming chickens and meat from cows that walk around and not in cages. So, what's your opinion on why Filipinas have multiple FP accounts? That's from Billy. That's a long discussion. That's actually a good topic for me and Gio, but there are many reasons. Some could be that they had, for example, they have a boyfriend or a husband, and now they're, for example, separated, and they don't want people to know what's going on in their new life, so they have a Facebook with other friends. It could be that they forgot the password, but usually it's a sign that something is not quite right. So, but sometimes they actually do forget the passwords and they just start a new Facebook. But if they have multiple active Facebooks, yeah, to me, that's a red flag. I certainly think you can be boyfriend. Eric Brown says, I certainly think you can be boyfriend and girlfriend if you have not met. You can commit. These times are extraordinary, as we know. I mean, what are you committing to? I mean, think about it, really. If you have a girlfriend in the Philippines, she has a lot to gain. You have nothing to gain. You have someone that you're talking to, spending a lot of time on, and that time could be spent on something productive. You could be working out. You could be making money. You could be bettering your life in some way or other. You could be reading a book, a self-improvement book or something, but she's gaining from it if you're sending money. She has something to gain, in my opinion. I mean, I just don't think, to me, at least that's the way I look at it. And it's good to have different opinions, but that's just the way I look at it. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, everybody. Help my YouTube. Thank you for that, Gio. Henry smashed the like button. Everybody else, go smash the like button. Ace Bachelor says, never send money to anyone you've never met before. That's my opinion too. We have differing opinions here. And also, I've read about people sending money for 3-4 months, and then the girl just breaks it off and starts chatting with another guy, So don't make money the focus of your relationship. If she wants money for you to be talking to her, she's not a girl you want to be talking to. There are millions of women here wanting to meet guys from the West. You don't have to put up with that bullshit. Nukam says, Paul, you're 5 years older than me. Do you remember back in the days when the women had the full bush down below, no shaving, just a big hairy fur burger? Yes, I do, and I don't miss those days. Let me put it that way. Don't worry about YouTube numbers, Paul. Just have fun. But Timothy, yeah, I have fun with my live streams. I love it. But I'm going to go do laps in about, I'm going to go about 30 more minutes, and I'm going to go swimming and do some laps. So. Trashy girls with tattoos are a red flag in any country, not just the Philippines. True. That's very true. Now, it also depends on the amount of tattoos. I've seen girls with like a small tattoo back on the shoulder or something, or maybe just something here like the name of their child or something like that. That to me is not trashy. But when they have tattoos all over the place, to me, that's just, I don't know. That's low-hanging fruit, man. That's usually a sign that they have some issues. Usually daddy issues. Ah, shit, I lost my... where am I? Question, what do you think is possible? Con of buying one of the condos where you live? Oh, I wouldn't buy condos here due to many facts. One of them being that the upkeep after a few years seems to be horrible. The other is if you take that money and put it in a REIT, you're probably financially better off than buying something here, in my opinion. REIT is spelled REIT, and look it up, and then you'll see what that is. Someone keeps trying to call me. That always happens on the live stream. Hi, Paul. Well, I man Ed up I wanted and found a single mom of 2, and yes, I'm sending her money for I want to help remodel her home and change things. Yeah. Thanks for that, Harold. Not something I would do. I know you want to change things, but for all you know, she's chatting with other guys, and she'll drop you as soon as you stop sending money. I'm just saying, just being honest about it. I just wouldn't do it. I just really wouldn't do it. It has to be about you, not about her receiving money, in my opinion. I could never date a woman with tats. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned that way. Yeah, like I said, full-on tats, I wouldn't. A small tattoo somewhere, I think that's fine. You think I can find a mature 45-year-old? I'm a 55-year-old widower and would like. Yes, you can. That'd be all over you. If you're 55 and you're looking forward to 45, oh my God. There's not many guys looking for a 45-year-old. So you'll have the whole world there. I'm sure you can get a widower that's also a widower, maybe even educated with grown kids and everything. So yeah, you'll have the world in front of you there. Laurie says, hi, Paul. I just subscribed to your YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Laurie. Appreciate that. Mikey Mickey, over many years, it's become a goal and hope in many Filipinas to find a foreigner to get benefit from, to make their life better, to benefit from and make their life better. Yes, you do get those who scam. Most follow what is the norm. Yes, I mean, look at it this way. Filipinos have a lot to gain from being with a foreigner. I mean, yes, you're older, but it's not just the financial, it's not just the aircon and, Netflix and Wi-Fi. It is that too, but it's also that you're a man and probably that has a lot to give mentally, You can guide her in many ways. You can, for example, pay for her education, pay for her to better herself, to have an opportunity in life, And that's another thing. I always say, try to make the person you're with a better person, If you ever leave them better than you found them, I'd say you can buy condos, but things can change fast also. China is getting their claws into Philippines, and you never know what may happen. Yeah, I don't think anything will happen with that. But if you buy a condo, let's say you buy a condo in Newtown and you love it the first couple of years, and things start changing, maybe the clientele changes, maybe things go downhill, maybe they build something close by and it's not quite what you like. You're not free to do what you want. I think once you retire, you should have that freedom to move. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Invest that money instead. Hector says, good morning, Paul, and from Melbourne, Australia. Good morning, Hector. There are too many gold diggers. There is just a matter of finding the right one. Just be aware of the red flags. Yeah, there are gold diggers, and most of them can be found online because that's where the easy money is. There are ways of testing these girls, and Filipina Life with Me, I did a good video on that. I would suggest watching that on how you can test these girls. So I won't get into that, but there are many ways of testing it. Tell it to the jury, Paul. Not sure what that means. Had an OFW. Yes, OFWs are can be very positive and very negative as well. Married a wealthy Pinay who sent me tens of thousands of US dollars. She was a psychopath. Really weird. As long as you got the money, man. So in this case, you're the scammer, I guess. Joke. But that's very unusual. for a woman to send a man money. So, there's that. I bet Mia has had her share. Look at her too. Guys looking at her, yeah. Yeah, it's funny. She wears a ring now when I'm not there, like she's married. And if a guy comes too close to her, she'll put that ring and like start scratching her head, like to show that she's taken. So, yeah, she's a good girl. Hey, Mia, sounds like a lot of snakes in Mactan. Oh my God, there's snakes everywhere. That's why she's coming here in April, to beat the snakes away. Like putting. Um, Harold Berry says, like putting ceilings in the home and add aircon. Yes, I will pay the bills each month. Yes, I've helped her so far, $1,600 to help her, even new doors. Okay, it's your money. You do whatever you want with it, but I wouldn't do that. Paul, I follow my guts or instincts often. That's a good thing, a really good thing. My safety is my profession requires it. All creatures have built-in meters. Only humans are so evolved that they disregard gut instincts. Yeah. That's something I've talked about before, like what is a gut instinct really? If you boil it down to it, it's like hundreds of thousands of years of development in humans. Like when we talk, we have micro expressions all over our face that consciously we can't pick up on, but unconsciously we pick up on. So if I say something and I smile and it's not quite right, your mind will pick up on it and give you that gut feeling inside, like, you know what, there's something not quite right with what he's saying. You'll get this bad feeling. And there's other kind of, there are many interesting books on this. And so gut feeling is an important thing to follow. And I'd say 9 out of 10, if not 99% of the time, is correct. Every time I've not followed my gut instinct, I've regretted it. So follow your gut. That's a good comment there. Who was that? Henry. Good comment, Henry. It's become a habit over the years now. Mikey Mickey says it's become a habit over the years now. It's built in their culture. It's not a new trend. Poor folk will do whatever to get money to live on and feed their families. Yes, and you can't really blame them. If they're chatting with a guy and the guy is stupid enough to send $300-400, you can't really blame them. And if a guy's a multimillionaire, it means nothing to him, I guess, but it means the world to them. So, but it's usually they're pretending, to like the guy or pretending to care about the guy and all that. And then they're chatting with 10, 15 other guys because that's all they do is chat. While the guy in the West is probably working, at least in the US, working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and has minimum amount of times to chat. And he's thinking this girl is his and she really isn't. Stan says, Paul, you mentioned on your channel to not get in a relationship in the first year in the Philippines. Yes, I did. I think that's excellent advice. You can date, but don't get in a serious relationship. Yeah. And the reason I said that is there's so many good women here, and you'll meet a good woman and you're used to the bullshit in the West, and you come here and you meet this woman and she might just be a 5 out of 10 in both mentality and looks, and you'll think you found the best woman you'll ever find in your life because you're used to the bullshit in the West. So when you get here, I say take it slow. Get used to the dating culture here. Get used to how much dating here is fun. It's fun. It's not like in the West. So go enjoy it for a year or two, and then once you find that really person with real good chemistry and so much things that are like with you, then maybe settle. But don't settle. Don't meet a girl at the airport. I have friends who have done that, and not something I recommend. I would only date a girl who has a job. Well, then you're really limiting yourself here in the Philippines, because right now the unemployment is 50%, and there's so many girls looking for work that can't find work. And I understand that. I mean, would you prefer to have a girl that's work? Yes, because they're not on your case all the time, and they're at work, and you can have your own free time. So I understand that, but I think you're really limiting yourself. If you're talking about seriously dating, I can understand it, but just dating, I'm not sure that's a good strategy. I think that's really, really limiting yourself. Paul, I'm 50. You think I can find a good Filipina who's like 25 or 27? You think 30 is better? Oh yeah. If you're 50, that's not a problem. Another thing that's important, I always say, be the best you can be. So if you're in the West now thinking of coming here, hit the gym, guys. Women like, even here, they like guys with six packs. They like guys who are worked out, that have a good physique, and also that builds your confidence. So hit the gym, eat healthy, and then come out here, and the world is your oyster, man. I mean, there's 50 years old. Are you kidding? I'm 53, man, and my girl's 22. And I've dated girls who are 19, 20 as well. So don't limit yourself. I mean, you're 25, 27, easy to find here, and a good girl too. I mean, a good educated girl. So just be the best you can be and come over, man. It's not a problem if you're 50. I don't see an issue. Did you consider renting condo in the IT park? I really like that area. Actually, I looked at several condos in several areas. The reason I like it out here, there's less traffic, and I've got all the amenities, and I can just drive in 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and get to Ayala Mall, SM City Seaside. SM City, and also building a bridge direct to SM City Seaside, or close to that. So I like it here. And I lived close to Ayala, Mabolo, before, and I just thought there was too much traffic, too much beggars, and after 3 months I moved to Dumaguete. But I love it here. But I've only been here for a few days now, so I mean, I've been traveling forward and backwards, but this is my first night in my condo, so yeah. Poor Filipinas, shortage of expats. Yeah, shortage of expats, yeah, it really is. And if you're currently a white guy in the Philippines single, you got it made. I mean, I think Gio's got it made being single right now. I mean, yeah. The question is not whether Filipina has a Facebook or not. The question is how many accounts each Filipina has. Yeah, that's good, Mark. That's true. Scott says, or you think you're chatting text with some girl turns out to be some warehouse of guys soaking money from people they never talk voice with. That's true, but today, if any girl tells you she can't do a video call with you, you know that's a scam straight away. And if you don't, oh my God, you need to watch some videos. But yeah, any girl that tells you that, it's BS if she says that. If she says she doesn't have a smartphone, that might be the case, but she always has a friend who has a smartphone, and she can go to her friend and ask to borrow it, and you can send that a load or whatever. So anybody who says that they can't see you on video, it's a scam, 100%. True story. At Mr. Vegas, I trust him. I know that he's not going to do bad stuff while I'm not there. Thank you for that. Filipina life with Mia. But the snakes are hogging at me. You better come over soon. Joke. That's the thing I also love about Mia. It's easy to joke with her. You know, if you guys have seen me in her stream, you see she laughs a lot and we laugh a lot, and that's how it is in real too. It's not just for the stream. So there's a lot of laughing in our house when we're together. Thanks, Paul. Do you think a diabetic would have trouble getting their meds in a bigger place like Cebu? At Scott 56, getting the meds is not a problem. However, medication here is more expensive. You can have it sent to you from the US. There's a website called blink.com, and then you can set up a forwarding thing that I use called US Global Mail. And if I remember, it's somewhere between 100 and 150 a year, US dollars, and you can have them forward there. And they have much better rates for shipping than normal shipping. So yeah, you could do that. But yeah, medicine is more expensive here. You know, that would be a good video to compare medication costs here compared to the US. I actually might do that. I've been asked to do that, and I'll put it down on my to-do list for videos. I know there's a lot of snakes in Cebu. Mr. Vegas, at Filipina Life with Mia, I know you do, was just a joke about snakes. Yeah, for you who don't know, Mia calls the girls that try to get the guys who already have girlfriends or wife, she calls them snakes. So that's her term for these girls. Or another term she uses starts with a B and rhymes with beach. It is a point in time. People's views change as they grow older, so not really fair to say on her. Not sure what that means, TJ. Henry says, I'm 53 years old, soon to be 54 and no kids. Hey, that's me also. I'm 53, I'll be 54 in July and no kids. So we're the same. I do not have any child myself. As Geo's LS, I'm okay with a single mom as long as the father of her child is not involved. How about having kids yourself, Henry? Is that a possibility? Because I've been thinking about it, and that's the one thing I've missed out in life. The only thing with having kids, like, you're locked down for 20 years, man. It's all about the kids. And no traveling, or at least minimal amounts of traveling. Even though having kids in the Philippines is a much better deal because you can like hire a yaya and you could travel, I guess. And they have their grandparents here and all that. So there's that. But it's also, it costs a lot of money having kids, you know, going to school and doing all kinds of stuff. So it would definitely involve me going back to work, 6 months a year or a year or two away from the family. So yeah, there are bad cats, so you all know. Bad cats, snakes, turtles, they're all bad. Is there common law marriage if you live together? As far as I know, no. I did some research on that because someone did say something, but that was a few months back. My memory is not what it used to be, but as far as I remember, no. Because if I'd found that there was common law marriage, I wouldn't be living with me anymore because I just won't put myself in that type of financial risk. So, no. At Paul, yes, we video chat as well. So you know she's real. Yep, good. My case is different. I don't plan to move to the Philippines. I'm only 36. It's just probably a month of work. It's just probably a month of work. What does that mean? She never asked for pennies or voluntarily sent it. But if you have no plans of moving, are you planning on bringing her back to the Philippines? Back to the US then? If not, if you're not planning to move to the Philippines, what's the point of this? It's just to have someone to chat with. Just to fill your time with somebody you can talk to, maybe. I can understand that too. If she's a really good person and you like talking to her, I get that. Pay a surrogate to have your child, Paul. That way you will never have custody dispute and never pay child support. Sunrise, when I lived in the West, I thought that way too. I was thinking about having kids and I was single and I was like, you know what? I might just pay a surrogate to do that. That way I'm not financially on the hook to anyone, It's my kid and mine only. But that's a good point to follow. That's a good point you got there. Something to think about. But as for me, if I decided, it would be with Mia. But it wouldn't be in the West, it would be here. Paul said, if your girlfriend has FB account, I was saying it as a joke. Many Filipina have multiple FB accounts. Yep, they do. I send almost $200 a week to my Thai girlfriend. I estimate that 50% goes to her family. A week? $200 a week? That's $800 a month? Dude, that's a lot. That's a lot. Wow. I wonder what happens if you say you're not sending any more money. You think she'll stay with you? That would be a good experiment, buddy. Just try it. That's just a lot of money. Did you mean a month or did you mean a week? Because if it's a week, that's a lot of money. Morning, everyone. Good morning, Love K. Hi, babe, at Eric. That's your girl, Eric. I don't know. Eric Brown says, I've got two older kids, 15 and 18, that I take care of for 24/7, private schools, etc. My girl would like kids. I'm going to give that happy family life with kids if that is the desire. Okay? To each his own. Good morning from my personal channel, Gadino. Good morning to you, Gadino. Paul, that's true. Laurie says, Paul, that's true. 100% is not men's responsibility to support to your Filipinas family. No, it's not. I don't know why we as men are saddled to support everything. If a woman wants money, she can work, in my opinion. Now, it's hard for Filipinas to find work, but in the West I'm talking about. But here in the Philippines, it's hard to find work. I've talked to a lot of girls here, and they have a hard time finding work. They're making $6, $7, $8 a day, barely enough to live. So I agree with Paul, Liz M. Him telling Mia from the start that he is unsure might or might not for kids. It shows rare integrity, and from that point, it's up to Mia if she wants to invest or not. Yeah, thank you for that, Scott. Thanks. Tom says, Filipina culture. I didn't make up their culture. $200, or if one is madly in love, $300 monthly allowance living together seems fair to me. If no chance of kids, no chance of marriage. I completely disagree with you, Tom. You're making a relationship about money. The relationship shouldn't be about money. You can't buy love, you can't buy attractiveness. Be the best you can be, hit the gym, get a good physique, come over here and meet girls. Sending money to these girls ain't gonna buy you love, ain't gonna buy you attraction, ain't gonna buy you diddly. So I'm just telling you, man, straight up. Sending money to these girls, $300 a month, waste of money. If your goal is to attract a woman, sending money to her does nothing, absolutely nothing. So, but hey, you want to waste your money? That's up to you. Rob says, wear a foam pad on your arm just in case she's scared of the plane, so your arm survives. Yeah, she'll pinch me really hard. Thank you so much, Tom, for the super sticker. And the advice I gave you is man-to-man advice, man. Straight from the heart. I could BS you, but I'm not going to BS you. Eric Brown says, personally, I think there is a responsibility of province girls' family financially. Can you hold on, guys? Yeah, hello? Guys, I gotta go. The maintenance people are here. They gotta fix something real quick. So I gotta end this. Sorry about that. I didn't realize they told me 1 o'clock, but this is the Philippines and they're here at 11. So I gotta end it. Okay? Sorry about that.